Let's get started, Trailblazers. I'm now the ESL Trailblazer, YouTube's busiest English teacher, and we're starting episode 61 on a bit of a tweak with something new. I want to talk to teachers out there, fellow colleagues, and give you some ideas about topics that you can cover in your lessons. New ESL topics, lessons. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. I am pumped about this because, let's face it, teachers, a lot of the course books out there, they give you topics that are either outdated or just simply boring and not interesting to our students. If you teach adults or even teenagers, they need to be stimulated. And in order to be stimulated, you gotta give them topics that they're gonna find worth discussing and want to contribute their opinion and get involved in the lesson with you. So in order to do that, you got to be selective and look for ideas for topics that are really suitable for 21st century learning. This is 2019 and you need to be thinking about this seriously. And unfortunately, a lot of course books out there, they're not doing a very good job of keeping up to date with topics that interest our students, adults, teenagers nowadays. So, what am I talking about when I'm talking about topics? I'll give you a few examples in today's episode with some ideas, but feel free to, of course, add so much more to these, okay? Remember, all you gotta do is a simple Google search and you'll come up with tons of language and ideas that you can use related to the topic. And I assure you that some of these topics you can stretch over multiple lessons. So this episode is more about the teachers, not so much for the students. However, you're welcome to watch this episode if you think the topics might be something that you can suggest to a teacher that you have if you are a student. So the first topic up is customer service. So what a topic. We deal with customer service every day of our lives, okay? Whether it's over the phone or face-to-face or when we're dealing with repairs and fixing things, okay? So talking about your own experiences with customer service or a quote that says the customer is never wrong or the customer is always right. You can get real nice, interesting feedback from your students, especially adults, on what they think about this quote. Do they think it's true? Does it hold true in many situations? What are the exceptions if not? Okay, there's also a lot of great questions you can ask about refunds and compensation and commission and what is good customer service? And more importantly, here's a question, okay? What's the future of customer service? Like, should companies and businesses care about customer service or should they just care about a profit? Like, how important is it? This probably plays a big role in the culture that you're teaching in, teachers, okay? Because depending on the culture, they might have different opinions. If you have an international class, this will bring up a nice, interesting, maybe difference in opinion regarding customer service and its importance. Because I can assure you, English speakers, and especially in America, for us, it is very, very important. And for Polish people where I live and I teach, it is important. I don't want to downplay it too much, but it's definitely not at the same level as Americans. I think they will find, they feel the price is more important and maybe quality is more important. But in America, we're willing to settle for lower quality if the customer service is bang on, outstanding, amazing, okay? So customer service, here are some idioms. Go the extra mile, okay? It slipped my mind. All right, or get to the bottom of something. So there's also very nice language there, and as I mentioned, refunds, compensation, discounts, etc. Okay, customer service, great topic to do a lesson on. You can check my website. I have a lesson there for you. You can use it. Boom, the link is in the comment section below, the notes section, okay? Next topic is life with or without the internet. Well, it's life with the internet now. What a topic. I mean, think about it. The internet, it's all around us. We're connected all the time. How is it affecting our lives, okay? Think about how many great questions you can ask your students to stimulate discussion and conversation between them in pairs or in a class about how the internet affects our everyday life. All right, how much do you use email? How much do you depend on the internet for information? Do you go there when you need advice? Do you trust the advice that you get from the internet? Okay, think about what websites we can trust. You can do a lesson on fake news. You can dive into an article that you can find, there's tons of them out there, about like browsing history by country, or how many people are connected nowadays, or how much people upload or download videos and other media from the internet, how much time people are spending on the internet, and then get your students talking about it. And from that, tons of vocabulary comes out, not necessarily related with browsing and internet data and all that, which can be, but also about privacy and about social media, and just language about everyday life, and maybe certain addictive elements regarding the internet, because now it's become like such a such a thing that's so connected with our everyday living. All right, we have a mobile phone, and you can go into a whole week's worth of lesson ideas regarding the internet. But life with or without the internet, you can throw statistics in there. You can talk about describing trends and how the trends have changed with or without with use of the internet, and how it's used. Enough said. Should I keep going? Let's move on. Next topic is networking. What an important topic nowadays, everybody. Come on, teachers. Are you with me on this? Now, business books have topics on networking, but sometimes they can be a little bit dry. You gotta look for something where there's some language here, because it's about interpersonal competence and interpersonal skills. Okay? So what I mean by that, teachers, is that it's about the conversation here. It's about interacting with people and networking. So you can get the lesson started on about how important networking is in everyday life for students in school, for young professionals or professionals in general in the business community, etc. Okay, but also focus on maybe some language regarding do's and don'ts when you're networking at a conference, or how to make an impression the first time that you meet somebody at a conference. Okay, or how to ask open-ended questions, or reflecting comments, like reacting to what someone says, or conversation starters. This is a great one where you can do some role play, introduce some expressions that could be very useful for students. And again, there's plenty of questions and this language that you can put together to make a lovely lesson. I got an episode on this, episode 38. You can click on it right here to check it out in detail. So next one I got for you is two more. The follow-up is employment trends. 21st century employment trends, they've drastically changed. You can talk with your students for a whole hour on this without even doing anything else, okay? Because it's such a relevant topic. Employment trends, I'm talking about the different styles of work. What types of work do we have? Think about shift work, think about teleworking, think about part-time, full-time, business to business, okay? Self-employed, etc. How have contracts, how have working conditions changed? Okay, then you can talk about 21st century jobs. What are the new ones that are becoming available, or what's the trend, in what direction is it moving? You can do lesson on trends regarding employment trends. There's tons here for discussion, listening, and reading. Finally, the last topic for this episode is getting value for money. I have an episode on the language regarding this. It's right here. Click on top. However, getting value for money, it's about consumerism and the economy. Okay, so this is something that's very relevant for most European students, as well as pretty much anywhere, I would think, China as well. Getting value for money, what a great topic. Talk about how value is different in different cultures, intercultural differences, very important here. Talk about the economy, talk about consumerism. Great questions here. I don't need to tell you, you can just Google tons of stuff on this, okay? And affordability, or eating out, or quality versus quantity. That's really connected with value, isn't it? So right there, those subheadings that I've given you, you can use to easily Google and find great ideas, language related with quality, language related to value and consumerism, easily. Boom, boom, boom. Put the vocabulary together, find a nice article on consumerism. Wow, you got a great topic. Your students are going to be engaged. They're going to be stimulated. They're going to want to listen to and pay attention in this lesson. All right, so teachers, I'm changing direction. I'm going to help you out here. I feel good about this. As teachers, we need to progress and make better lessons and not depend only on the course book. Maybe the course book is what you need to follow in your school. However, remember that it's up to you to spice it up a little bit. Your students are looking for that spice because the book can get kind of boring and repetitive, and they know what's going to happen. So if you give them something new and refreshing, you're going to catch them by surprise and they're gonna really engage with you. So, teachers, go get them. I don't know what else to tell you. If you really like this episode, I can follow it up with another one later on with more topics. Leave your comments. What topics do you recommend for ESL teachers nowadays that have worked well in your classroom? Thank you very much. Have a great week. There's more episodes coming up on ESL Trailblazer about stuff like this. I'm taking a little bit of a step back from language. You be proud teachers. And I will see you again next week for another episode. Remember, burn to learn, build that momentum. Take care. Have a great week. Thanks a lot for watching. See ya.